Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video, it's not really going to be a tutorial, but I want to talk about some things that I've been messing around with. And at the end, I'm probably going to ask you a question of what you think. But effectively, this is going to be another video in the multiplayer basics. It's not really a series, but I'm just going to add to it as I go through things. But I've been looking at how to sort of implement sort of like doorways and sort of like key restricted doorways, let's say. So for example, what I've got here is it's just a basic little setup, and my idea was on a multiplayer game mode, how could I set up a scenario where I can run towards a door on one player, and if this player has access, the door will be enabled for that player, but it won't be enabled for other people. And I was messing around with various things, sort of like buttons and sort of like, can you authorize the door? And then I thought, you know what, this might be a perfect way for me to use some other methods within Unreal, and one of them's tags, or more specifically, actor tags. So basically, what we've got here is I can pick up this little card, and this sets my character up with a specific tag, and the doorway itself is looking for any sort of actor or character that has the tag it's expecting, which will then authorize that character to walk through. So as I approach the door, because I've now got the key card, I've got this tag, the door opens and allows me to pass through. When I pass through the door, what I've done is I've removed the tag from that character, so now I no longer have the key and I no longer have access to walk through it. Now if I restart this, what I will do is I thought, well, hang on, I can cheat this a little bit. I can have one person pick up the key and I can walk over to the door, and whilst it's active and we can walk through it, what I can just do is flick onto my other character, run over, and we'll try and cheat the system a little bit, and we'll get through the door. So I've now set that up where it doesn't work that way, because this character doesn't have the tag, so therefore it's denied entry. But what that does is, if the person that's trying to help the cheater, it kind of ruins it for the cheater, because now they're stuck on the other side, the friend can't come through. I mean, it doesn't ruin it, but if this character was slightly more on the other side, it'd block them out and then nobody can get through the door, so it's kind of like a punishment. That's as far as I've got so far, so it's not really intentional. So let me just go through how I've set this up. So one thing I just want to go over is the tags. Now, I've got to be honest, I've not used tags a lot in this system, and I've definitely not used it in a multiplayer scenario. Multiplayer is still new for me, hence why my videos are very limited. But if you go to your sort of top level actor here, the actual blueprint itself, and if you type in the word tag in your details panel, you'll get several tags. So you've got mesh tags, character tags, capsule tags, and then actor tags. So this is an array element, so you can add as many tags as you want. So you can mess around with this in several different ways. And regrettably, I should have deleted. Oh, there you go. I've deleted all of them. So what you can do is you can set up something like has key, which obviously that's just a generic phrase, has key. And if I compile this and now play, I've already set my doorway or my portal up to look for that type key. So we'll miss the key that I've actually put in the game. And you can see now that because this character has the tag has key, it allows me to go through. We also notice that on the second character, it is also green because this character has the tag as well, so it's sort of like activated for both of them, so it indicates we're both good to go. Yeah, so we can both pass through here absolutely fine with no restriction, and you know that's how you'd expect it. Now, what I've done here is I've set up just a little script that on this particular character, well, they're the same character, but in this character's blueprint, what will happen is when I press the Y key, I'm just going to set my actor tags to has key. So one of the actor tags that I'll have is has key. So just before we continue, let me just get rid of this one. So now we don't have any at all. Let's compile and play. because I wanted it to appear to only one character that they have the ability to pass through. So let's run over here now, and you'll see I don't have any access. But if I press the Y key, this main character here should have a key, but the other character over here shouldn't have a key. So what effect I wanted to have was that this character can approach the gate and it'll appear green to this character. So if I approach the gate, you can see that happens because the door is checking, and the server's kind of working this out that, okay, this portal is on the server, and this particular character has approached it, and the server's response to this character is, okay, I'll make this visible and active for you. But the other character, the second one, which is still red over here, obviously the server's response to this character is, you don't have a key, so you can't have access. Obviously, I've set the portal up in a way that it denies access to anybody that tries cheating the system, and inherently what it does is it ruins it for both of them, because now neither of them have access to this portal. So you can see, like, it's blocked now. It's blocked that off. I might sort of try and build on this to develop that where this person can still pass through, but at the moment I'm just doing a really hard and fast rule of if one of you tries and you don't have access, you're not getting through. So let me just go through how this kind of works. So as I mentioned, it works on tags. So my portal in this instance, now I'll just go over how the color's changing. Very, very simple. I've just set up a boolean that says active, yes or no. For this instance, I've set it up with a tick. I don't know whether that's the right approach or not in multiplayer, but it's very basic, so I'm not too sure. But for this example, it'd be fine. So once that's active, it sets it to green, and if it's not active, it sets it to red. That's as far as that bit goes. And then for the portal itself, I've basically just got a disk with collision enabled. It's just a disk, basically. And it's got this material on it, and you can see that there is a sphere collision. Now when we overlap that sphere collision, we're doing the checks. So what I do is just a very basic cast to character, providing your character is made using the character sort of parent class. This should cast true. So it's not it's just a way of checking effectively if it casts to that, you are a character type at least. And then from the as character, we can check, does this particular character that's approached the portal, does it contain a tag, or does this actor have a tag, has key? If that's true, we're going to set it to active, which then changes the color for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set the collision of the barrier to no collision, just so we can pass through it. Very simple. What I've done then is, I'll come back to this bit in just a sec, but once we've passed through the sphere collision, or we've passed through the barrier, all I'm going to do is I'm going to set it active no, so it changes it back to red. And then what we do is we get the same actor that passed through it. We get the tags. We search for the has key tag in the array, because there could be multiple. You could have tags for don't do this, but can fly and can swim, stuff like that. And has key might be just another one on there. We're going to find the very specific has key, get the index, and then remove that index from the array of tags. Basically, I'm taking the key off you in some respect. And then we set the collision back to collision enabled, so you can't pass through it anymore. So I said I'd come back to this bit. So effectively, if you walk up to it and you don't have the key, so let's say your first character approaches with a key, and then the second character without a key approaches, I'm basically going to deactivate the portal. There's probably a better way around this, which I'll probably work on and release future videos where I'll cover that. But just for now, if somebody approaches without a key, I'm just locking everybody out. So it's just real strict rule. So one question I've got for you guys really is if you've got any experience with using tags or sort of like multiplayer sort of door systems like this, who has access, who doesn't have access, how do you approach it? Do you see using the tags as a don't use tags because of this reason, or using tags is absolutely fine, but be aware of this? Just if there's anything like that, it'd be really interesting to find out. Because my sort of journey into multiplayer is relatively new. I've avoided it for years, but I should stop because realistically there's probably a lot of people that want to make multiplayer games. Most games are multiplayer in some respects, so yeah, it's a learning curve. Just because some people may be curious, the key card, very simple. I've just set up a cube, shrunk it down to size, made it bright orange, put a sphere bubble, just a sphere around it, and give it this. It's an engine material called frame, and the fact that it's translucent like this just gives it the effect. And then I've put a sphere collision around it, and then similar to the doorway. On begin overlap, I cast to see if it's a character that's walked over it. If it does, I effectively get the actor tags of the character that's walked over it and add a unique tag to the array of tags called has key. So I've basically given the key in terms of tags. I spawn a little visual effect of just confetti bursts, and then I destroy the actor. Effectively, I'm just faking a kind of pickup system there, and then I guess if you ever want to drop it, you can just respawn the item. But obviously, this is very bare bones testing. So yeah, we're just giving them the key and then allowing them to walk through. So I'll just go over that again. So what we've got is we've got a character here that doesn't have a tag of has key in this instance, so the doorway denies them access. But once they've picked up this key, the key then effectively casts to this character, adds the tag to the actor called has key, which the doorway is looking for. The doorway can now can see that we've got sort of access, and then lets me pass. Once I pass through, I remove that tag from the character. So effectively I've created a doorway which is one way in this respect. You could keep the key on them so they've got permanent access, but that's completely up to you. It's not what I wanted. And then this character, obviously, if we run over, we don't have this tag, so we don't have access at all. That's pretty much it. So I hope this video was sort of informative. It wasn't necessarily a tutorial. I just wanted to discuss sort of some things that I'm playing around with. Obviously, this could be useful. I'm not too sure what I'm going to put the title as. Maybe sort of like actor tags question mark for multiplayer doorways. I'm feeling like that might be a good way to go. But like I said, if you've got experience in multiplayer and you've already sort of handled this kind of scenario, I'd be really interested to know how you handled it, or what you think of this way of doing it, or a better way. You know, advise me. But yeah, like I said, if this video was any use to you, if you liked what was in it, please consider giving me a like. Feel free to comment down below, whether it's to do with what I've discussed here or what I've asked, or if it's completely separate. If you want other things to be considered, or if you want me to add other bits and pieces, or something you want to see in the future, please feel free to let me know. Discord link down below. Discord server, obviously it's easier to share screenshots and videos, so if you do need any support, that's a good place to go for that. And if you want to see more videos, consider subscribing, but I'll leave that with you. So that's it for now, and thanks for watching. See you later.